Hello, everyone. I just want to give a amazing feedback on really what works as far as being a teacher in virtual learning. It starts like this. I'm sitting in this meeting with my principal. Of course, I work in the Middle East, so it's a whole lot different with like hearing and getting and wanting to have people offer feedback. So anyway, before the principal enters, all of the teachers are just in this pattern of knowing the overwhelming responsibilities right before report cards. In enters my principal, and one of the first things that he mentions is that the tables have turned. Students who traditionally did really great are now like, they might be feeling, some issues right now. And kids who aren't doing so well are somehow just doing a great thing. So I looked around the room, panned the room, and people have this unbelievable look. But as I look at my principal, I just know I'm like, this is sincerely a great experiment for myself to see if students are going from willpower to accountability in the classroom. So I'm in a whole nother meeting with my principal just that because you have these weekly responsibilities you all have to go through, and you enter, like you go into prayer, like, "Oh, I already got all this stuff on my plate." But this man comes into a whole nother meeting after an overwhelm and he tells us, he's like, "Look, I better survive. And, less screen time," is also what he said. So I went on a 7-day experiment. And with this advice, try it yourself as an administrator everywhere that are giving feedback and actually asking for feedback. This one's for you. So I gave my students the option for that week, which is this week, every day. Come to class, I take attendance. The work is there, you can leave because it's a major project. 100% of the time, my students actually chose to stay. 99% of students stuck around when given the option to go into a breakout room. This led with all these different terminologies I didn't know before, like asynchronous learning, and having students who want to be leaders to go into these breakout rooms and not give answers. It was a different dynamic because the principal is now saying, I need to see if my students who are not doing so well academically are really being accountable, are really showing their own willpower and using time management skills. So when the students started to stay, when they had the option to leave, that was the first indicator right there that this is working, this is evidence. Secondly, study hall increased because students understood the amount of time and the option to go. Somehow, just not taking advantage of that was no longer an option because report cards are coming, a whole new semester is coming, and the reality of not wanting to be accountable in the 24 hours a day and the workload that it comes and all the new projects that are due, like preparing them for college. This increased my study hall, and in study hall, the dynamic changed. Kids came to study hall, were very mindful of the time spent that the teacher had available and the other students that were there. So the shyness was just out of the door, and that willpower to share their screen, get the information, and actually be comfortable in a space with their peers. It was amazing. Those low functioning students kept hearing it over and over. And you know that 40 times over and over, any behavior becomes like a part of it. I get it now. And those who don't have the willpower in certain areas, all of us don't have the willpower in certain areas. If we get through repetition, which the other kids did, the ones who wanted to give it, they gave it. So time management has been like the biggest data proof. When I tell you that the students all left class on today, with the exception of students who needed the help academically, when I read through, the thing that my principal understood was we need indicators to see if they're doing the work. By having students who perform high give feedback like we're on a panel discussion at TEDx message, they're able to turn around and give feedback peer to peer. What happens is it functions in a translation with ESL so much better than it would be for me to say it 40 times for each and every child one on one, which I don't have the time. So to see the students just mold themselves into time management, those students who sat in front of me, having not completed the work, heard the feedback from other students saying, we've seen this answer too many times, or heard comments of me saying, don't bore me, press me, seen it all. Can you give me images? Can you give me data? Can you give me something heartfelt? Something, a sentence I haven't seen. And to hear your students say, we have seen this answer too many times. As a matter of fact, a group of you people who got this answer and put it there, I heard a student say, this is evident you didn't read the text, so we suggest you go back. You really want to bank all of your um, data or answers on someone else, knowing that what the other students presented sometimes to their friends for answers were not accurate. This was a game changer where all of the kids who typically didn't want to do group work because they're like, oh, they're always taking my stuff, felt comfortable in a space to be shifted and say, I can opt out and leave the class and do other things that I can do and not have to be bullied academically. Where thanks to my principal and just all of the unity of being in a think tank instead of a meeting, and being open to all of the different things that teachers have been sharing and helping me just have a less stressful time, less screen time, more time with the kids that need it. When I check that work, all of my low functioning students performed so well. They superseded my expectation. The craftiness behind the sentences of seeing other people penalized for not having uppercase I's constantly, that's just a task around here, and their punctuation. These students who might have functioned low academically became the champions that they were perfected in theirs. And this information came from them, and they didn't want it to be different, to be the same as anyone else's answers. They gave me connections to things in their family as it related to the story. They gave me the intimacy of being a writer that was so profound using correct punctuation. So I just wanted to come on today and share with you guys, just give yourself an opportunity of 7 days of asynchronous learning, of shifting it up, of embracing the think tanks that we're all required to do each and every week. So celebrate what remains. I hope that this has been beneficial to you, and please continue to share, share, share. Thanks for listening.